into some TikTok. If you've been reading the news or if you've seen any of the viral videos about ticks, you know that people are encountering ticks on trail at absolute record highs. Definitely a lot higher so early in the season than it's been in the past 10 years. As hikers and backpackers, we are more likely to encounter ticks, which means we're at a higher risk of getting bit and getting a tick-borne illness. That sounds really scary, but luckily there are things that you can do to help decrease your risk of getting bit by a tick. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about protecting yourself from ticks, what to do if you find a tick on you, and what to do if you suspect you might have a tick-borne illness. This is my show, gosh darn. Okay, so the most effective way to protect yourself from tick-borne illnesses is to prevent yourself from getting bit by a tick. And how do you do that? The number one most important thing is to try and cover any exposed area of skin. So that means wearing long sleeve shirts when you're hiking, long pants, and also a hood and a hat, and sealing off any possible openings where ticks can get underneath your clothing, such as at your ankles or at your wrists. I am out on a backpacking trip right now, and I am wearing my sun hoodie and pants and socks that have been treated with permethrin. And then in order to seal off any gaps where ticks might be able to get underneath my clothing, I have tucked my pants into my socks, and then I have my sun hoodie with thumb holes down over my hands. Pants tucked into socks. Age-old tick trick. Maybe not the sexiest thing, but very effective. The full tick outfit. Ta-da! Unlike mosquitoes, who can like penetrate through fabric with their little pointy pincer thing, ticks have to actually have access to your skin, and they have to be able to physically latch onto your skin surface to feed and therefore transmit disease. Ticks really like dark, warm crevices that are like close to a solid blood supply. Your groin, tick heaven. I'm sorry to say. That's true though. Buy me dinner first at least. So, covering your skin is definitely the most effective way to protect yourself from ticks. In addition to just covering your skin, I would recommend wearing light colored clothing. Dark colored clothing, like dark pants, are gonna make it really hard to see ticks on your clothing, whereas light colored clothing will allow you to notice the tick and be able to brush it off or murder it. Up to you how you want to handle that. In addition to covering up your skin, one of the best things that you can do is actually treat your clothing and your gear with permethrin. If you aren't familiar with permethrin, it is an insect repellent that is specifically designed for fabrics and other porous materials. The way that permethrin works to kill and repel ticks is that it actually affects a tick's nervous system. So when a tick lands on a piece of clothing that's been treated with permethrin, it basically immobilizes the tick, and it can kill ticks in as little as 30 seconds. So even if you have a tick land on you, if your stuff is treated with permethrin appropriately, like properly treated, that tick is likely to not only not bite you, but also die, and therefore not be able to feed on anything else. I'm gonna show you how to treat your clothing with permethrin, but really quick before I do that, I wanna thank the sponsor of today's video, which is, of course, LMNT electrolytes. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I absolutely love LMNT. I struggle with a lot of different chronic health conditions that actually require me to need a lot more salt and electrolytes on a day-to-day basis, but especially when I am hiking and backpacking. So if you've ever dealt with things like muscle cramping or fatigue or headaches due to dehydration, chances are pretty good that you actually need more electrolytes. My personal favorite is LMNT. Now, this is not something that I would carry backpacking. This is actually a can of sparkling LMNT, but if you haven't yet tried this stuff, you can go to the link below, which is drinklmnt.com/Miranda Goes Outside. And if you place an order there, you'll get a sample pack of 8 sticks of LMNT. So try the sparkling or try the packets and take them backpacking. I think you'll love it. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and treat my clothes behind me. So I have my pants, I have my socks, and I have my sun hoodie, and then I have my can of permethrin. You want to lay your clothes out where there is no wind and outdoors because you need that ventilation. Then you're going to shake up your can of permethrin and spray your outfit in sweeping motions. You don't need to fully saturate the fabric, but you should see a slight color change. It's a good idea to make sure you really get the cuffs of your pants and your shirt. Now we flip them over. And we do the other side. It is a good idea to keep your permethrin treated clothing out of the sun while it dries. The sun is just going to cause that permethrin to deteriorate faster, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands. In addition to helping repel ticks, permethrin also repels mosquitoes and other insects. So it really is just a great thing to use during the summertime. Permethrin can also be used to repel ticks on dogs, but it is extremely poisonous to cats. So if you live in a cat and dog household like I do, make sure you're careful with how you store permethrin. And if you're going to use it on your dog, make sure to read all the instructions and consult a vet before doing so. Permethrin, safe for dogs, not safe for cats. Or ticks, to be fair.
Whoa, hold on. Have we ever seen cats and ticks in the same place?
Oh no, cats are ticks. Huh? I wish I could say that wearing long sleeves and covering up your skin and using permethrin is going to completely negate the possibility of being bit by a tick, but unfortunately it's not. There is still always a chance that no matter what you do, you're going to get a tick bite. And that is why it's so important to know how to do a tick check. There are a ton of different resources online that are going to give you a detailed breakdown of how exactly you have to do a tick check. But ultimately, it is as simple as searching very carefully over your entire body. A helpful way of thinking about this is to find the tick that's on you, not find a tick that might be on you. That idea sort of turns it into a game where you are more likely to spend the time actually searching every nook and cranny of your body to search for the tick, rather than it just being a quick cursory glance. Really, it shouldn't be called a tick check, it should be called a tick search. Ticks tend to prefer dark, warm crevices, so prioritize those spots on your body. And if you don't have access to a mirror, it's generally helpful to have a buddy help search the parts of your body that you can't easily see. If you're on a multi-day backpacking trip and you are solo, then you can bring a small compact mirror or even your cell phone and use that as a means for searching your body. But it should really be a visual search as much as possible, because while it will sometimes be true that you can physically feel a tick on the surface of your skin, sometimes they'll be so small or will have only started feeding and that won't be possible. So a visual check is definitely very important. I also would not recommend waiting until the end of a multi-day backpacking trip to do your tick check when you get home, because ticks are more likely to transmit disease the longer that they are feeding on you. So instead, plan on doing your tick check every evening, or even twice a day, in the morning and at night if you want. Really quick, because I think this is interesting, if a little bit gross, the reason you don't feel when a tick bites you is that ticks have a numbing agent in their mouth and saliva that actually allows them to numb your skin so they can bite you and attach to you and therefore feed on you without you realizing it. Sort of horrific, but it does explain why you might have a tick on you for many hours at a time and not know about it. Okay, so you know how to protect yourself from ticks. You know how to do a detailed tick check. What do you do if you find a tick on you? This is where I think a lot of people, myself included, start to panic. There is so much information out there on what to do if a tick bites you, and a lot of it is just completely wrong. So, first things first, if you do find a tick on you, it is very important to remove it as quickly as possible. When I was little, people used to say that you should take like a hot match and put it on the tick to cause them to back out of your skin. I've heard people say things like cover them in super glue or all sorts of stuff. Don't do any of that. The most effective way to remove a tick is to take a pair of tweezers and grab onto the tick as close as possible to where it has bitten you, and then firmly but gently pull upward until you have removed the tick. It's gonna be, in my experience at least, a lot firmer of a pull than you might realize. Ticks really attach themselves to you when they are feeding. They do not want to be moved. So you do really have to very firmly and steadily kind of like pull them out of your skin. I know, it's kind of gross. Now, I think a lot of people tend to be quite worried about this process because they think that if the tick's head breaks off in your skin, you are then much more likely to get a tick-borne illness. That's actually not true. The bacteria that causes things like Lyme disease or Rocky Mountain spotted fever or even alpha-gal, that is carried in the tick's gut. So if you've removed that part of their body, you have made it so that they can no longer be possibly transmitting the bacteria that causes these illnesses. So even if the head's stuck in there, you've removed the source. Of course, you don't want a tick head stuck in your skin, so try not to have that happen. But if it does, don't pick at it. Don't try and dig it out of your skin. Eventually, it will actually work its way out of your skin, and you should be fine. Digging at that site and trying to remove the tick head on your own is only going to increase the risk of other bacterial infections. There are other little devices out there that you can use to remove ticks, such as tick keys. A lot of people find them to be really effective, but personally, I just prefer the good old-fashioned tweezer method. I think it is the easiest, and I think that for those reasons, it is the one that I choose the most often. Once you have removed the tick from your body, hopefully with the head intact, but even if it's not, it's a good idea to take note of what type of tick it is. I would recommend taking a photo of it. The reason for this is that you can use that picture to identify the tick when you get home. And the reason that is important is that certain ticks are more likely to carry certain diseases. And being able to identify the tick is the first step in being able to monitor yourself for possible symptoms of a tick-borne illness. This is, I think, a good time to mention this. Simply because you got bit by a tick does not mean that you are going to get a tick-borne illness. I don't say that to tell you to not worry and not monitor yourself for certain symptoms, but I do think that a lot of people feel like because they got bit by a tick, they are therefore going to get sick. And that's just not the case. It's kind of a process. Like ticks bite you, they feed on you, bacteria gets transferred into your bloodstream, you possibly develop an illness. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so you've been bit by a tick. You find out what the tick is. You know what tick-borne illnesses that tick is likely to transmit. What do? You should monitor yourself for certain symptoms of a tick-borne disease or illness. Luckily, most tick-borne illnesses, the things that we get from ticks feeding on us, have very similar symptoms at onset. So things like fever or chills or aches and pains, cold symptoms. If you experience any of those things after having been exposed to or bit by a tick, it's a good idea to go to the doctor and get it checked out. The earlier that you can find and diagnose and therefore get treatment for certain diseases that ticks carry, the less likely you are to have long-term complications, especially when it comes to Lyme. Lyme itself is actually a curable disease, but there are all sorts of post-Lyme symptoms that can affect people. And as far as we know, if you can catch Lyme early and get treated for it, you are less likely to develop these post-Lyme infection symptoms. It is possible for a tick to bite you and transmit a disease without you ever knowing it. So if you have been in an area that has a high population of ticks and you experience some of these symptoms of a tick-borne illness, it's a good idea to go to the doctor just to rule out any possible diseases. Okay, there is one last thing that I want to share with you about how to protect yourself from ticks, and that has to do with what to actually do with your clothing and your gear when you get home from a hike. Because I think that this is the spot where a lot of people make a pretty crucial mistake. I think what a lot of people tend to do is just take everything off and then like throw it in the laundry right away, but you actually shouldn't do that. The first thing that you should do is put all of your clothing into the dryer and dry it at high heat for around 10 to 15 minutes. The reason for this is that a simple wash cycle alone is actually not enough to kill ticks. They are resilient little buggers. You would think that being like whipped around in a bunch of water with soap would kill them, but unfortunately it doesn't always. If you treat your clothing with permethrin like this, you are going to want to reapply this after roughly 6 launderings, or 6 weeks, at least for this stuff from Sawyer. Read the instructions on the back of your bottle of permethrin, apply it accordingly, and then retreat and wash your clothes as directed. Okay, well, you're gonna... Okay, so I just covered a ton of information, but quickly to recap, the best way to protect yourself from getting a tick bite is to fully cover your body as well as treat your clothing with permethrin. If you do get bit by a tick, remove it as quickly as possible and try and identify it so that you know what symptoms to monitor yourself for when you're looking out for tick-borne illnesses. If you suspect you might have a tick-borne illness or disease, absolutely seek care as quickly as possible. If you're hiking with dogs or kids, please make sure to apply all of these steps and tips to them as well. They are certainly a more vulnerable population, so it's important to treat them and check them for ticks too. If you have any of your own tips for how you deal with ticks, or if there's any information that I missed, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you outside. Bye! Tick-tock on the clock, turn the music up, I'm a fan till you see the sunlight. On that note, I think we're done here.